Hi, my name is James Given. I'm the outreach manager for Total War.
All right, so we're here at TwitchCon. We're here at the Sega booth. You guys are showing off some Total War stuff. You've got two titles here, right?
We do indeed. We have Total War Three Kingdoms, which comes out next year, and we also have Curse of the Vampire Coast that comes out 8th of November.
Tell me a little bit about this expansion.
So the expansion, this is the second big faction pack for Total War Warhammer 2. This is going to Vampire Coast. So the Vampire Coast are a undead kind of faction who roam the seas. You'll be able to use them in campaign. You've got 4 legendary lords. They have a complete different way of playing on the campaign, but also how they play in battle as well. So on the battle side of things, you're looking at an undead horde which move forward, kind of lock you in place, but then they have loads of guns as well, which other undead factions don't have. So all this cannons and muskets and kind of flintlock pistols, and they'll be just firing into the enemy. But then they also have like crazy giant crabs, like as kind of monstrous creatures. And then you also have these walking pirate ships that have been animated, and they've got corpses and cannons for hands. You've got flying bats, which are carrying zombies with guns to just hunt people down. So it's absolutely crazy. The lords as well, we've got some really interesting ones, like Harkin. We've also got Colostra, who's one of our own. We've created in partnership with Games Workshop to kind of give it like kind of magic and caster, where they can, an entire lore of magic as well we worked on. We call Lore of the Deep, where you can call forth a pirate ship to just fire magical missiles straight into the side of the enemy as well. And because in the lore which we created for her, she's a singer from Batonia who was on a ship and it got wrecked at sea, and she's been reincarnated as kind of a spirit, so she can call her forth Batonian cavalry onto the field as well. So there's a whole wider range of things just on the battle which make them completely unique to all the other factions.
So you're basically telling me that you're going to be playing as vampires that control legions of ghost pirates?
Exactly. But not even just that. Then you've got all these crab cavalry who are just going to be flying around as well. It's a complete varied faction and absolutely chaotic when it comes to fighting. They have one unit which is called a bloated corpse, which is a singular unit, and it just runs forward, tries to hug the enemy and jump in between, and then just explodes. And it will just do a huge amount of damage. It's kind of like a boomer from Left 4 Dead. Yeah, it's brilliant. Just runs in there and does a huge amount of damage.
Man, that is freaking insane. So I take it most of this stuff already existed in the Warhammer universe, though, before you guys decided to integrate it into the game, though, right?
So it was an army which was added in a White Dwarf. So it never had an army codex or anything like that. So we worked with Games Workshop to kind of bring them to life in video game form. We've added stuff that maybe wasn't there, but we've always made sure that it sticks to the feel and kind of like how you would expect the Vampire Coast to play out. So we fleshed out the roster in a way, but there's a lot of the core units there that would have been in the White Dwarf editions and stuff like that. But we've gone out and added a lot of stuff to kind of flesh it out. How should the Vampire Coast play? And that's all, we've built it up from there, you know?
Nice. So is there a rebalancing when you're sort of integrating new classes and new factions and stuff like that, like or is it essentially like a 1-to-1 conversion from the tabletop game?
Not at all. Every time we release an update like this, we try and go back to some of the old world factions. So in Curse of the Vampire Coast, what we have is we've gone back to Vampire Counts, one of the original factions of Warhammer 1. And what we've done there is we've added a thing called the Bloodlines, where if you can kill or turn another kingdom into a vassal, you'll get blood kisses, and you can use that to awaken a lord from a certain kind of tech tree. So we always go back to the older factions and try and bring them up to kind of balance some of it, make them a little better, give them a new kind of play style and flavor. And that's something we did with dwarves, and it's something we're doing with Vampire Counts as well.
What do you do to counter them? Like, how do you fight against them?
How do you fight against them? Well, we recently did a multiplayer tournament. We got here at the booth at the moment. We're doing it with some of our YouTubers like Turin and so on. And we did a multiplayer tournament. We had 8 players. They all had the chance to play Vampire Coast before launch. They were played quite a lot, and at first they were smashing everyone because they were very powerful, but they were a different play style that no one was used to. But as you started to work out how to counter them, starting to go wide and bringing lots and lots and lots of troops and kind of getting in behind them, because Vampire Coast's big strength is that their ability to bog you down and shoot into you. But if you can get around them and take out their gun line, then there are ways to beat them. But the best thing about Total Warhammer and the multiplayer side of it, and even in single player as well, is the variety you can have for every army. You can do so many different. You want to take an entire army of giant crabs with some flying bats and a lord who's on a pirate ship? Go for it. You can do that. Or you can bring an entire army of zombies and just send them out onto the field. So many different ways to play the game. It's up to you what you want to do.
Are we going to see any sort of new playing fields or battlefields in this expansion as well?
Yeah, for sure. We always add in new maps with all of our DLCs. There's the really cool ones. In the campaign side of stuff, there's loads of new mechanics we've added in. So the way that the Vampire Coast play is kind of like a hybrid faction. So they can conquer territories and build up like buildings just like a normal faction, but they can also sail the seas and be a nomad faction and build up their pirate ship. And that's like your whole base of operation. So you're sailing around, you can attack and raid other settlements, and when you conquer one, you can install a pirate cove. And this is a way for you to siphon money away. You don't conquer the territory, it's not yours. You've taken it, but it's not yours. It's still owned by that faction, but you're getting money from it all the time. So if you take in that settlement, you get the money, and other factions can take it away from you, take it away from the other faction, but you always still get money from it. And it's a way you can build up your network across the campaign map and be making money the whole time. So it's a really great way to plunder the world, but without having to station armies to defend it.
So it's almost like instead of draining blood, they're draining currency?
Well, the whole idea is the way you want the Vampire Coast to play is you're not painting the map. Like, you're not an empire. You're, well, you can't do that. You're more of a pirate. You're a pirate. You're just raiding the coast and taking stuff you need and building up from that. And that's the kind of playstyle we wanted to give you.
So does that mean instead of like singing like Bauhaus and Cure songs that they're going to be doing pirate shanties? And because I mean normally vampires, they're all about listening to The Cure and stuff like that. But these are more piratical, right?
In our trailer, we had a pirate shanty and everything, and everyone in the community absolutely loved it, So, yeah, I mean, put on the Pirates of the Caribbean soundtrack and, get yourself and conquer some territories, It's great.